I guess next week we are using that time for students to be able to catch up, right? If you haven't heard that yet, that's kind of the game plan. So in all your Westlake classes, you can ask questions if there's like a missing grade, or retake some assignments, CFAs, and things like that, if you so desire, and work that out with your teachers. So this is the last week for any assignments, and what we're going to do is today we're just going to review and finish off what we've covered with triangles. Okay, so we had 2 lessons on triangles, one dealing with the triangle inequality rule or theorem, and the second one was the angle sum theorem. Okay, which we'll review about both those today, and then we are going to take a little CFA after we do some review, and that's going to be our, basically, instead of having a test on this unit, since it's kind of a mini unit, we're just going to have the CFA. And then on Thursday, we're going to do some fun activities. I can't tell you all what's in store yet, partly because some of it's secret, some of it is changing. I'm still deciding on the last section of it. But there may be some collaboration. We might have something where we have multiple classes and the math department, and kind of a panel of people, and then also some different, just some different fun activities and games, and kind of time to socialize with you guys, and so have you guys socialize with each other as we finish out this year. Okay, as crazy as it's been. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. And what I was saying earlier, what I need from you guys today is to have your fingers ready, do a quick chat so we can go through the review together and get some good call and response. Okay, so this was what we talked about on May the 4th, right? We had our tribute to Star Wars. So the triangle inequality theorem or rule, let me make this full screen, is, and let me make sure, sorry. Okay, making sure I wasn't leaving anybody waiting. All right, it says, I can determine if 3 side lengths will make a triangle. So it's just as straightforward as it sounds, right? And we said that, and we played, we had some activities where we played around with the different lengths of triangles. Obviously, any triangle has only 3 sides, right? And it doesn't matter which sides come first. Like if we said, what about a triangle that has the lengths 3, 3, and 5? Or what about a triangle that has the lengths 6, 4, 5, or 7, 8, 9? Like it doesn't matter necessarily the order, just the 3 lengths, right? Because they could be any which way. But what does matter is the inequality rule, which we determined. Okay, so obviously we don't have time for that today, but during class on last Monday, we did some different activities to play around with and discover that the sum of the 2 smaller sides, the sum of the 2 smallest sides must be greater than the 3rd side. So if you can see my mouse here, maybe I use this little pointer. So the sum of the 2 smaller sides, or the smallest sides, has to be greater than the 3rd side. Okay, if it's not greater than the 3rd side, then you cannot form a triangle. Yes, sorry, I see a chat here. Okay. I'm getting some people saying they can't see the screen. Can you not see it now? Okay, let me try to reshare. Okay, share screen. All right, what about now? Can everyone see that? Is that a no? What? Dang. Oh, yes. Okay, good. All right. If not, let me know and we'll figure it out. We'll tinker with it a little bit. All right. So all that to say, right? Just the sum of the two smallest sides has to be greater than the third side for it to form a triangle. And namely, look at this picture here. You know, if we had a 4 side length and a 5 side length and a 10 side length, doesn't matter where you put them. These two can like hinge open and shut, right? But they're not going to be able to connect to each other, right? They need to connect somewhere out here to make a triangle, or out here, right? But 4 and 5, that's going to make 9. That's not even long enough to make this straight line here. So how could they make a triangle? They can't. Not without having something sticking out. All right, what about, so this is my first question for you guys to respond to. What about if this was side length 4, and this was side length 10 here, and this was a side length of 6? What would it look like then? Would that make a triangle? Would it not? And yeah, if it does or it doesn't, explain what it would look like if it was a 4 and a 6 here. So go ahead in the chat. Give you guys about 20 seconds. Type up what you think this would look like if this was a 4 and this was a 6 now instead. Okay, about 12 seconds. Again, obviously, like we've been doing, you know, no penalty. There's never a bad answer. What do you think this would look like if you had a 4 and a 6? Okay. Hopefully a lack of response does not mean that we don't know. Anybody have an idea here? If this would be a 4 and this is a 6 instead, how would that change how this looks? Oops. Sorry. All right. I'll give that one to you guys. Maybe we're still waking up, still a little shy. But let's say this was 4 and this was 6. Okay, that would mean that this is a little bit longer, right? And 4 plus 6 is equal to 10, right? So I'll ask you this then, guys, in the chat. Is 10 greater than 10? Or is 10 equal to 10? Is 10 greater than, or is it equal to 10? Okay, Preston says equal to. Candace was saying, no, it's not greater than. Okay, awesome. Oops. Yeah, so it would be equal to 10. So it doesn't meet our rule, right? It's not greater than or equal to. It has to be, the sum of the two smallest sides has to be greater than the third side. So 4 plus 6 still only gets us to 10, equal to 10, but not greater than. And someone said that in the chat that it would be a straight line. That's exactly what would happen, right? You know, you try to make a triangle, it would try to be really close to here, right? See if it's long enough, and it's 4, let's say these are feet, 4 feet and 6 feet, so that makes 10 feet and 10 feet. So it'd be just like 2 10-foot poles right on top of each other, 2 2x4s. Okay, so all right, it has to be greater than the sum of the 2 smallest sides has to be greater than the third side. And so the rest of that class, all we did was look over that and practice that, right? What would that look like? You know, would these side lengths work? Would this side length work? And again, the catch with this is it doesn't matter the order or anything like that, as long as you get the 2 smallest sides. So on this one, I'm just picking one at random here. 3 plus 4 would be 7. Is 7 greater than 5? Yes, it is. So yes, it's a triangle. Okay, and then the same with all these others. Like 6 plus 8 would be 14. Is 14 greater than 10? Yes. So that one ended up being yes. It is you can make a triangle. Okay. So that is the first guy there. Let me again, I know a lot of people are shy here, but do you guys have any questions on this before we move on? Knowing that a triangle can only be formed or created or constructed if the 2 smaller sides add up to be greater than the third side, the biggest side. Okay, and if while you're thinking of a question, if you have a question, quick check on this. Would these 3 side lengths that's coming in the chat, would these 3 side lengths be able to make a triangle? Right. If I had 6, 6, and 14, could I make a triangle out of that? Okay, I got a couple no's. Anybody else? No's, yes? Just those 2? What do you guys think? Okay, got another vote for no. Thank you, Abigail. All right. So, again, the 2 smallest sides on this would be the 6 and the 6, of course, right? So if we add those together, 6 plus 6 is 12. Is 12 greater than 14? And the answer, of course, is no, it's not. So it cannot form a triangle. Okay. All right. Good job. So that was what we talked about last Monday, right? And that was the triangle inequality theorem. Again, it's the name reflects what it's about. So on this one, the inequality is talking about our rule where we say the 2 smallest sides has to be greater than the third side. That's the inequality. Okay, all right. Then on Wednesday, we talked about the triangle angle sum theorem. Okay, and we're going to do a review game here just in a sec. But before we do that, we need to talk about the triangle angle sum theorem. And as big of a name as that is, right? We said the nice thing about math and science to some extent is everything is just named of exactly what it is. So this is a theorem or a theory, or kind of a rule for triangles. And then we know what angles are, and we know that sum is the answer to an addition problem. So this basically says you take the angle of triangles and you add them up. Theorem. Okay, so the objective, I can find a missing angle, the missing angle of a triangle. Okay, that was what we just talked about. And so with a triangle, okay, and we did some experiment with this as well, we determined this rule, and there's a picture of it, is that any triangle, if you take again, any triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles, right? If you take the three angles, no matter what their size, or how big or small the triangle is, the degrees within those angles will always add up to be 180 degrees. Okay, and I'll say that one more time. The degrees of a triangle, the 3 angles, will always add up to be, and I'll let you guys finish that statement. What would that be? The angles of a triangle always add up to be how much? Thanks, Preston. First one on the board, really quick. How many degrees are in a triangle, everyone? Good, Abigail's up there, thank you. Good, thank you. Yep, 180 degrees. Very good, you three. So the sum of the 3 angles in a triangle will always make 180 degrees. Again, that's not sometimes, that's not like in high school it'll change. It's always gonna be the same. And it doesn't matter if the triangle is like really slanted, really small, really skinny. That may make some of your angles really big or small, but the total degrees within will always add to 180. So it's pretty cool, very helpful. Because with that info, we can find missing values, for example. All right, so here's a picture again of showing that 2 of the angles you can add to the third to make 180 degrees, a straight line, right? All right, so and then it's as simple as, we said there's kind of 2 ways to do it, but it's really the same thing. To find out a missing angle, like if you look at the screen now, you should see a yellow angle that's missing. We take 180 degrees, right, which is the total, minus 30, minus 70, and that should give you the leftover, or the remaining amount to get to 180. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys do one, and then we're going to do our review game. Oops. Okay, went a little bit far. If you saw it, it's okay. You can do it again by yourself. All right, so if we have, look at triangle D here, class. If you see 58 degrees in one of the corners, and we have 27 in another, one angle, second angle, and then if we need a third angle to make this a triangle, what does this have to be to make 180 degrees total? Nice. In the chat, you can post either what answer you think it is. You can also post how you got your answer. Okay, so if you're like, I took the 2 angles, added them together, and then did this, explain what you are thinking, so I know what you think. Say about 20 seconds. Okay. Good, I got a couple responses somewhere so far. Thank you, Preston. Thank you, Carl. About five seconds. Okay. So I thank you guys for your responses there. Let's go ahead and check this. Again, the only ways to really do it would be to say, you could either say 58 plus 27, and then notice how many more it is to get to 180. So AKA, you could say, 180 minus 85, and that's the leftover, the 95. Or you could say 180 degrees in a triangle minus 70 minus, oops, why am I saying 70? 180 degrees minus 27 minus 58 equals, and again, that leftover is 95. So I personally think the subtracting method's a little bit easier. But again, it's just simple math. So good job to those of you guys that got that there. That is 95. And then this second one here, let's do that one together. We would do the same thing. We'd say 180. Can you guys see my calculator right now?
Yes.
Thank you. So 180 minus 72 minus 86. Boom. Get our answer, 22. Okay. So it's just that easy. It's really just getting the groundwork. That way, in the future, you can take this information and take it even further, like do even more stuff with it instead of just finding one missing angle. But it is, it's kind of fun, pretty easy, hopefully for you guys. And that's what we talked about last week, right? So we're going to do a little review game here. And to do that, I want to make sure we've got it set up. Yeah, we've got enough. Okay. I'm going to use our little breakout rooms that we did the other day and do a little Quizlet live. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share this link with you guys. Okay, so go ahead and go to Quizlet.live, and here is the code in the chat. Nine four zero 940. Okay, and if this gets in your way, this picture here, you feel free to click escape and it'll shrink down a little bit. All right, good, thank you guys. So, and we'll need everyone in here. I think we've got 11 total. So let's get everybody here so we can have full teams. Good. We already got 7. Good job. Good. We're just waiting on 2 more people. And it's Quizlet.live. Sorry, I didn't clarify that. I still got it up and running. I just took the share off. Trying to see who else we're missing. Do we have Diego? think we need Diego, and I'm not sure who 009185 is, so. All right. So if you can hear me, I'll say it one more time. Nikolai, Diego, I think waiting on you guys to hop in. Awesome. Thanks, Nikolai. Okay. We're going to start in 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So here is our teams for our game. I'll give a little handicap, okay, to the oxen and the wolves. So you guys will get maybe an extra point. Okay, so you always add 1 in your head to the score that you're at. Okay, so I'm going to do our breakout rooms. And basically what that is you're just going to be in a private room with your group. I can hop in and out, but everybody else is stuck to their groups. That allows you guys to work as a team. Okay, so you can talk to each other and say, hey, the answer's not on my screen, you know, and maybe it's on one of yours. The code is 940940, Diego, and I'm sorry, guys. Real quick, I'm gonna just reset this so we can get Diego in. Okay, I don't want to leave him behind, so we're gonna snag him real quick, and then we're gonna head on. So the only thing that should change is teams. You with us there, Diego? Awesome. Sweet. Okay. All right, so we got the snakes, the cheetahs, and the camels. Okay. Team 1, snakes. We've got Anthony, got Briggs, Candace, Abigail. Anthony, I'm going to assume that you're the number 1. If that's not right, we can fix it later. Okay, you should get an invite to that group. Callan, we got Eunice, Carl, and Nikolai. Okay, you guys are going to be the cheetahs. You guys are in room 2. Should get that invite. And third is Preston. I think I have to put something here. Preston, Diego, and Cadence. Open all rooms. There we go. Okay, and we will be starting in 10 seconds. Nikolai, there should be a little invite on the side that takes you to a breakout room. All right.
Mr. E, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Nice. Still anyone's game. Yes. Oops.
So we got 90 as our answer, but I think Anthony has it and he left. So
Okay.
I mean, he's in Quizlet live, but he's not in the breakout room.
Okay. Does it still show him answering questions and whatnot? Or you're not sure? Okay. Okay. And that's already happened on a couple questions? Okay. Well, I would say just do the best you can. I'll just keep your guys' highest score. I think so far you guys are tied with the highest score at 3. Because the only other option would be just to reset the game. It's the only downside with Quizlet Live. So just keep on doing what you're doing. If you have to, take the loss here or there. But then the main thing is just to get the practice.
Oh.
Mr. E, we got 3 twice.
I know, I saw that. You guys are doing great. Killing it. All right. So I'll see you guys in just a sec, okay? We'll end soon. right. We got a couple people coming back from the breakout rooms. Thank you guys so much for bearing with us. I know we had maybe one or two people conk out, and that always puts a damper and kind of ruins the game a bit. But you all did so well. Proud of you guys. Saw a lot of 4s, a lot of 3s. Okay, multiple times. So that means overall you were getting most of the questions. The only thing that, for sake of time, we're going to do real quick is I forgot to tell you about one type of problem. And I'll say that again since some people just came in. There's just one type of problem I want to make sure you guys know how to do before taking the CFA because it's on there. So just real quick, I'm going to show you this one type of problem and then we'll go from there. Okay, so just opening a new page. Symbol. Oh. There we go. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Admit, share. All right, so again, if you're just joining us real quick, before we take our CFA, I just want to show this one type of problem because I forgot to cover it with you guys. So there was just the two main things we talked about, right? The inequality theorem and the angle sum theorem. The last thing is if you had, and I just want to make sure you guys have seen this. If this is, and again, this isn't to scale, so this picture is not necessarily accurate. But let's say that this angle was 70 degrees. This angle was 60 degrees. Okay, sometimes you might see a problem that has these two angles, and then it says x plus, let's say x plus 5 degrees. Okay, so if you see a problem like this, don't freak out. And try to think, how would you be able to solve for x here? Okay, how would you solve for x? Do you guys have any ideas? Okay, got some answers. Solve the parentheses first. Preston, I think, thinks he's got his answer. It's okay. All right, so basically, as long as you remember the same rule, right, that any triangle should add up to be 180, right? So in our heads, we're thinking, okay, 70 degrees plus 60 degrees plus whatever the heck this thing is, right, degrees, equals 180, right? So we could say, okay, 60 plus 70 is 130, right? So I'm just writing out what I do in my head, 130, and I could even add that 5 in. So let's say 135 plus x equals 180. So all this is just applying really basic solving equation stuff that you learned at the beginning of the year and that we reviewed, and triangle rule. Okay. So then once you get here, you say, okay, how do I get x by itself? I'm going to subtract 135 from both sides. Okay. And if you're like, Mr. E, why are we doing that? Remember, to get x by itself or to solve a variable, you do whatever the opposite is, right? The inverse. So these cancel out, and now you have x is equal to 45. Okay, so, and the only catch here is this is not a 45-degree angle, right? This is a 50-degree angle. But if it said solve for x, then the answer would be 45. Alrighty. Nice. You guys seem to do really well on that, okay? But I just wanted you to see that. If you need to look up at the screen and kind of copy that down, you can. So I would do the same method. I would say, you know, 180, you could also do 180 minus 70 minus 60, right? Which gets you to 50, right? And then so you know that this angle is 50, and you can say 50 equals x plus 4, or sorry, x plus 5, and then just solve like that. And now you're going to say, oh, okay, it's going to be 45. Okay. All right. So maybe this is a little quicker way. You can do it either way. Alrighty, any questions on that? If not, I mean, if you do, put it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to post this link for the CFA. You can take it now, or you can take it later, but you do need to take it. Try to take it sometime today. Okay. Here is the link coming down. Right. It's in the chat there. That's the link, and make sure I've got the right access code. Access code is pickles. Yes, you can. And it's just make sure to take the CFA.